Mike used to tell people he was fine. He said it at work when his boss piled another project on his desk. He said it to his friends when they asked how things were going with his wife. He said it to his own mother on Sunday phone calls, even when his voice sounded tired and flat. "I'm good. Just busy." That was his answer to everything. But Mike wasn't fine. He just didn't want to deal with what "not fine" actually meant. Every night he'd come home, sit on his couch, and scroll his phone for hours instead of thinking about anything real. Because if he stopped scrolling, thoughts would creep in. Thoughts like, why do I dread going to work every single morning? Thoughts like, why does my relationship feel more like a routine than a connection? He didn't want those thoughts around, so he drowned them out. This went on for almost 2 years. Then one evening, his old college roommate came to visit. They grabbed dinner, talked about old times, and at some point his friend just looked at him and said, "You seem different, man. Something's off." Mike laughed it off at first, said he was just tired, but his friend didn't buy it. And honestly, neither did Mike. That night after his friend left, Mike sat in his kitchen alone. And for the first time in a long time, he didn't pick up his phone. He just sat there with his own thoughts. And slowly, the truth he'd been avoiding started coming out. He realized he hated his job. Not, "It's stressful sometimes," hated it. Actually hated it every single day. He realized his relationship hadn't felt right in over a year, and he'd been staying just because leaving felt harder than staying. He realized he'd stopped doing the things that used to make him feel like himself. No more weekend hikes. No more late-night talks about big dreams. He'd just been going through the motions, pretending that was enough. It wasn't some big dramatic breakdown. He didn't cry or throw anything. He just sat there and finally admitted the truth to himself, out loud, in an empty kitchen. And something about saying it, even just to himself, changed something. The next morning, Mike didn't quit his job. He didn't break up with anyone. Nothing outside of him changed yet, but something inside him shifted. He stopped pretending. And once he stopped pretending, he could actually start dealing with what was real. Over the next few months, he had hard conversations he'd been avoiding for years. He updated his resume. Small things, but real things. And here's what Mike would tell you now, if you asked him what changed everything. It wasn't some big plan. It wasn't motivation, or discipline, or a 5-step system. It was one honest moment in his kitchen, where he stopped lying to himself about how he actually felt. That's where it always starts. Not with fixing your whole life, just with finally telling yourself the truth about it.